By the end of this video, I'm going to tell you how you can master the mid game of Deadlock, and I'm going to teach you how you can win almost every single game, even when you're behind. And that's what we're going to talk about in this episode of Shotty's Yap Session. And if you guys are new here, this is a series where I yap about a topic, and you turn me on in the background while you do something else. Or, if you really want to, you can watch the mid gameplay. Get right into it. Now, this video is going to be broken down to two main parts: the basics of mid game and getting objectives. So first, the basics. And one thing I want everyone to understand before we even start: one good fight is pretty much all you need to completely change the game. I was actually played a game the other day. It was on my main account. In my first video, I talked about how I started playing the game 2 months ago, and recently, because of the way matchmaking works, I had to make a new account, and I went from unranked to Archon to Ascendant in 23 games with 90% win rate, something like that. So I'm Ascendant 1 right now. I'm climbing up to Eternus soon, but I've just been, busy making actually videos again. But I was playing on my main account, which is only Archon, because I played more than 100 games, and the game was like, you know what? You're staying here, And while I was playing with a buddy of mine, and we were losing almost every other lane except for ours. And as a team, we were down 40,000 souls. Me and him, we heard them getting mid boss, and we ran down there, harried every single one of them, got the mid boss, right? Got the rejuve. I think we stole 2 of them, and got out, and got a kill or 2. And it went from a 30k, 40k down in souls. I think we were even by the end of that rejuve steal. It was amazing. And it completely changed the game. We managed to actually win that game, which was crazy. But a lot of people don't realize, you win one good fight, you win the game, right? A lot of late and mid game turns into who takes better fights or who wins better fights. And it turns into like 3 good fights and the game is over, right? Past laning phase. But a lot of people give up when they've lost one good fight, So try not to give up in your matches, because a lot of them are winnable. There are some like government mandated losses, where we lost by 20 minutes, right? But I would say that's less than 10% of your matches. So it's not that big of a deal. Now, for the basics of mid game, one of them is rotations. A lot of people talk about getting behind in souls, or how does this guy have so much farm or whatever. But when you see them rotating, they're always ziplining, right? Unless you're going across the map, and even when you're going across the map, if you know rotations, it's still slower. But unless you're going across the map, most of the bounce pads are faster than actually taking zipline back, right? So unless you need healing, and even if you need healing, there are healing creeps that you can grab too, there's no point to go all the way back to spawn, because you have mid shop, you have guardian shops if you haven't lost them yet, you have boxes on every single rotation that help you catch up in souls or even get ahead in souls. You have bridge buffs that you can get on the way of a rotation. You can help with team fights on a rotation. You can reset waves on a rotation. There's so much you can do by rotating across the map manually instead of taking the zip. So you want to try to always grab boxes and sinners through every single rotation you do. But next thing is, you have to decide, and this completely decides the start of your mid game. Are you behind or are you ahead? Did you win lane? Did you lose lane? Also, how did the other lanes do? Because sometimes you'll win lane and what you think is winning lane, and you have 10k souls. Then you look to the left of you and like, how on earth does Bebop have 7,000 stacks and 15k farm? He has Echo Shard. He just pulled me in one time and one-shot me. Team, what happened? So you want to be able to decide, am I ahead? Am I behind? And who's their most fed? And how fed on average is their team? So first, if you're behind, you want to be focusing on asking your teammates or doing whatever, seeing if you can just lane with somebody or lane alone on a side lane, preferably, and just sit there and farm. Let the wave come to you. You could even hold the wave there by not killing it too fast and letting more creeps stack up on your side. But the main thing you want to focus on is having minion farms, killing the minion farms, and not letting them just get killed by themselves so you can actually get the souls for it, and running to the jungle, grabbing boxes, killing camps, running back to wave. It's just kind of your gameplay cycle for the next 10,000 souls, And then you focus on getting your damage spikes. So some characters, it's their last tier upgrade for one of their abilities, or maybe it's Ricochet or something like that. Figure out what your damage spikes are, and you play for your damage spike, and you pretty much just hide in jungle until you get it. Now, what about if you're ahead? If you're ahead, usually what you want to do is try to get to other lanes as fast as possible, right? Shutting down someone farming. Like, for example, if you were behind and you're farming, you want to also shut down people that are doing the same thing. Some of them will push too far far ahead. For example, you shouldn't be pushing past the midpoint of the map in most games if you don't have vision, right? Which vision is just knowing, oh, there's two people on the map, or there's three people on the map, or whatever. You don't want to push too far, because if you push too far, there's a good chance you're not going to be able to live, because someone's going to gank or someone's going to come out of jungle or something, and then you just die. But you want to look, if you're ahead, for people that are going too far ahead. Let's say there's a 7 in right lane or whatever. He's pushed up. He thinks, oh, I haven't gotten Guardian yet because I lost lane and I'm farming. Let me go try and get this Guardian. He walks 2 steps too far. You kill him for it, and then you put him on a 30-second respawn timer, right? Because you guys have probably experienced when there's a Victor or there's a 7 or somebody or a Wraith, they disappear. You're like, yeah, that guy sucks. He's so low in farm. He's so easy to kill. He disappears for a little while, and then he comes out at 40k farm, and then everyone's asking, who fed him? And then we look and see he has 2 kills. Nobody fed him. Where has he been? But it's because no one contested him the whole time. One thing I realized that a lot of people don't do, and unfortunately I haven't watched much Deadlock YouTube yet, so I haven't really gotten any ideas from other YouTubers or anything like that. So I don't know if this is something people talk about, but I don't see anyone talk about how, why are we letting this guy solo farm over here? I think we should gank him. I think we should kill him as soon as possible and put him on as many timers as humanly possible so he can't get farm. Or scare him so far back into Walker that half of his wave dies before it even gets to him, also denying him some farm. Like, I think we should always try to shut that down, because too many people just let them farm. So if you're fed or if you're ahead, you want to try to look for those fights. You want to look for those picks. Now, one thing I notice when people are ahead is they make the mistake that they don't keep their farm up. Just because you're ahead doesn't mean you don't farm. Usually what I try to do when I'm ahead is I usually pick up mid lane, because the risk of mid lane is they can come from every single side. So if they want to come and kill you, they can gank you very easily. They can always just flank you or whatever, or just pull up from their jungle and get you. When you're on a side lane, you only have to worry about to the left of you or the right of you. So if you're the most fed, it's not as much worry, right? They'd have to be 3 guys deep to try and fight you, you know? Now, the other thing is, who's the most fed on their team? You need to always keep track of that. You need to keep track of who's the problem on the enemy team, because usually there's 1 or 2. It's not often that the entire enemy team is a problem. It's usually just 1 or 2 people. Now, when there's 1 or 2 problems, there's 1 or 2 things you want to do. First thing I like to do is, if I have a coordinated team or team with a bit of a brain, I try to group them up and we go get that person. We try to shut that person down, denying some of their farm. They might be mid lane too. We try to gank them. We try to be the ones that collapse on him from all sides. And usually something, I don't like Mo and Krill or something's good for that. Mo and Krill's pretty much designed to say, oh, you're the carry? All right, cool, everyone kill him, you know? So if you have something like that, that's ideally what you'd like to do. But if you don't, your job is to make his job as hard as possible. So whether that be counter rotating him, so let's say he goes right lane and you're also pretty fed, but maybe he's more fed than you, you go right lane, right? Let's say he goes mid lane, and you have a poke heavy character. You want to try and poke him out of lane as much as possible. Get him to back, get him to lose farm, get him to be afraid. You want to make sure he doesn't just sit in whatever lane he wants and just farm for free or rotate for free and kill people for free. Now, there's there's not a lot, but there's a bit of caveat to that, because it's like, well, what if he's a Bebop? If I try to poke him, he's going to pull me in from China and just kill me. So, you know, obviously play the matchup how you think it should be played, right? If you're facing a Bebop, try not to take too long of angles with him so he doesn't just go for a hook on you, right? Or too explosive angles. If you're fighting a Paradox, if you see her place her wall down, run like hell, you know, because she's probably looking for a swap. Stuff like that. But that comes with learning characters. Now, the other thing is IGLing. IGLing in games won me probably 15 of my 20 climbing up to Ascendant. See, someone will see Ascendant Ascendant with 90% win rate and say, oh, I got lucky with teammates or something silly, right? The thing is, I can show you guys the games. Those were terrible. Every single game I had to IGL. Almost every single game I had top kills, top farm, top damage, top healing, top objective damage. It was dreadful. Almost every single game I had to rotate 20 times trying to help other lanes so they don't get too far behind. Almost every single game I took all the Guardians. Almost every single game I took at least 1 Walker. It wasn't easy at all. It was dreadful, right? These people were like, most of my team was bad. And the games where my team wasn't bad, I think every single one of them were sub 30 minutes. Pretty sure every single one was sub 30-minute games. But it wasn't easy at all. I had to IGL. I had to call out a lot for everyone. I had to tell everyone what to do, right? And, you know, you'll watch this video, and by the end of it, you'll say, well, I've watched Coach Shoddy, so now I can tell everyone, all right, guys, Coach Shoddy said, oh, see, 7, you're actually behind, and you're a carry carry character, go to the side lane and go farm up. Actually, that's a good point. See, maybe I'll add this earlier in the video, or I'll just keep it here. But speaking of that, preferably when you're behind and you need to farm, try to be aware of who your carries are, right? If you're a 7, then yes, absolutely, take the side lane. Even if you're behind, even if you're not, go farm, because you're a carry hero. If you're a Wraith, same thing. Like, for example, yesterday I was playing a game as Wraith, and I decided to buy the egg because it was fun. And I was going for a build that rushes Ricochet. I think it's the top build, the Exodia build or whatever. And I was doing that, and I sat there. The second I got Ricochet, I don't think I went back to a lane one time. I got Ricochet and just started running it down. But that's what I mean by playing your spikes. I don't need to farm the whole game because I don't need as much farm to be effective against the enemy team once I have certain items like Ricochet, like Surge of Power sometimes, or different items like that, right? Just the items you know, or the AP investments that you know make you stronger than everyone else. So second I got Ricochet, I went to go find a team fight. I stacked up as many spades and jokers as I could. I ulted someone, insta-killed them, and then gunned 2 other people down, and then we snowballed from there because we'd keep finding people, and I'd call out for my teammates to come fight with me, and we'd keep finding people, and we'd kill them 3 versus 2, right? Or 3 versus 1, and they would get snowballed the whole rest of the game because we were almost even in farm, except for me. I was way ahead of everyone else in farm. I came out of jungle and just won the game. So for some people, if you're doing like an ult 7 build, maybe maxing out your ultimate is when you finally come out, or when you finally get unstoppable or escalating exposure or something along those lines, then you come out of jungle and you just win the game, right? But you don't want to be there the whole time because a lot of people in mid game, they just play farming simulator, right? And this game it's not a good idea to farming simulator because every 2k souls you get, they get 4, right? Because they're farming lanes, jungle, and your team, because you're absent the entire time when you're probably the most fed on the team, not helping. And you guys probably experienced it. It's usually like a Haze player or something, just playing perma-farm the game. When realistically, if they just walked out of jungle and shot their gun, they would just destroy somebody. But they don't ever try because they're like, no, guys, I need my next power spike. Bro, you had 7 power spike. You have Ricochet, Inhibitor, Silencer. What more do you need? You got Siphon Bullets, bro. What are we talking about? Your ult is maxed. Go click 4, you know? And then they end the game with, oh, well, guys, I had top farm. I don't know what you want me to do. My team just sucks. Bro, I'm going to tweak. It's such a pain. Now, I mentioned a little bit, but the map midline. The map midline, just think about an imaginary line in the dead center of the map, kind of where mid-boss is, going from left to right. You do not want to pass that, for the most part. Now, don't get me wrong, there's certain times to pass it, and we'll talk about it in the mid-game objective section, but for the most part, do not pass that line, because you don't know, or if you do know, you can pass it, but you don't know how many people are in the game, right? Or like how many people are on the map or not on the map. You don't know where they are. You don't know what objectives they're doing. We don't know if they're on the jungle, or if they're sitting under a walker, or they're actually in the rooftop right next to you and you don't see them, and they're waiting for you to pass the midline just to jump on top of you, right? And when I first started playing the game, I was sitting there, and I used to play with my friends, and I used to do it too. 9 times out of 10, me or my friends' deaths when we first started playing the game was on the enemy side of the map, and we're just like, bro, I was just trying to farm. I don't know, dude. It's like, they're always on top of me. And it's like, yeah, they're always on top of you, but you're on their side of the map. What are you talking about, right? And it took me a little while to get used to just push out lane, kill everything, go in jungle, go kill some camps. Oh, lane's back, kill the lane again, go kill some more camps or some more boxes or something. So if you don't have vision on a decent amount of enemies, like I would say minimum 3, do not walk past the midline of the map. Now, another thing is, and this is more about building, which if you want a building guide, I'll be making one in the future, so make sure you subscribe. But pretty much every single game, buy Spirit Resist. I don't care if it's the chest plate, I don't care if it's Dispel Magic, I don't care what kind of Spirit Resist you're buying, buy Spirit Resist every single game, because 9 times out of 10, most of the people on the enemy team will be spirit characters, and you're just going to take 40% more damage for no reason, because if they buy any amount of shred or anything, you're just going to die. So on almost every single character, fit in Spirit Resist into your build. Another thing is being okay with doing nothing. A lot of people are sitting there and like they're they're frothing at the mouth. Oh, well, I need to push. I need to do something. I need to push out a lane, when we have no kind of pressure, right? We have no vision on the enemies. We don't know what they're doing. We have nothing. Be okay with doing nothing. Now, the other side of that coin is, oh my God, do something, right? I've had people in my lobbies. I've had 4 people on top of me fighting me, and we have nobody pushing lanes. It's like, please do something, right? Please push a lane. Please fight. Please do something. And this links with objectives or getting walkers or guardians. If you see usually more than 3 people, I would say preferably 4, but if you see more than 3 people on map, or let's say, I don't know, two people are dead and you see 2 people on map. If you see something like that, call out to push out waves. Push every single lane that they're not in. So if they're in blue lane, you guys push out yellow and green. Have everyone do it. Have anyone who's like spare, right? If 3 of your teammates are fighting that, which ideally they probably shouldn't be. We shouldn't all just like, we shouldn't death brawl too much, but it depends on the state of the game and all that. But if you have 4 teammates fighting, right? The other 2 should be pushing out yellow and green. Push it as far as possible. Attempt to get the walker, but don't going for the walker and killing yourself for it, you know? But attempt to go for the walker and then disengage. Because worst case scenario, the other 2 people that you didn't see on map come to you guys and you have to fight them or whatever, and maybe you're not strong enough so you just leave, or you get a walker, right? Because if they come to fight you, that also means the 4v4 that's going on in mid lane stays a 4v4 instead of becoming a 4v6, because they didn't go to the fight, they instead came to you. And speaking of team fights, winning a team fight does not mean objectives every single time. Some people win a team fight and then say, let's go mid boss, but blue lane is pushed all the way to our side of the map, or both yellow and green aren't pushed out or something, meaning that if we go for mid boss, they could either easily steal it, or they could, or whoever's not dead obviously, could easily steal it, or maybe someone's already pushing out one of the lanes and they're going to go get one of our walkers or something. So sometimes when you win a team fight, doesn't just mean objectives. You can steal every single one of their camps. That's a good thing, right? That works. I forgot what YouTuber said it. I did watch one video and a YouTuber said something about when you're taking camps, take it backwards. So if you're on the enemy side of the map, take whatever's closest to you and move backwards towards your side of the map taking camps. I completely agree with it. It's exactly how I do it as well. Try to take going backwards. So if you want a team fight and we ended all the way up lane on yellow lane, right? But we can't go get their base guardians, take every single bit of farm from their side of yellow lane all the way back to our side of yellow lane, right? Steal all of it. Make sure they have nothing to farm, because if you do that, all they have is waves, and they might lose out on, as a team, maybe 2,000 souls, 3,000 souls. So not only did you win a fight, you denied them 3,000 souls, and we got it instead. And the last thing for the mid-game basics is, if you think you're about to go do something, or if you're about to go start a fight or something, or you just don't need the souls as much and you want to add a little bit of lane pressure, you can kill a few of the minions instead of all of them, and then what'll happen is, when you leave that lane will start slow pushing, meaning that the minions that you have on your side outweighs the enemy's minions, which means they'll always be killing the enemy minions, stacking up a bigger and bigger wave, which means you could even take walkers, objectives, whatever, without even being there, because your wave will take it because it's such a gigantic wave. Now for the mid-game objective section. First thing, number one thing, please stop forcing objectives. Yes, this game is an objective game. Yes, you need objectives, but I can't tell you how many times I see people just full send it, die for a walker or whatever, and then go on 60-second timer. And half the time they don't even get the walker. It's like, what are we doing? It's not the end of the world to have someone, like one person die for a walker, right? 2 people is pushing it. I don't think it's worth it past 2. But 1 person dying for a walker, it's not the end of the world, especially if your team's slot locked and the enemy team's just kind of outscaling us because they have more slots. But when you force objectives, you got to remember, it puts you on a gigantic timer, usually because of the state of the game, right? With how far you are into the game already, chances are when you're forcing walkers, the game's already 20 minutes in, 25, 30. So that means you die once and you're out of 70 seconds of farm, 70 seconds of team fights, 70 seconds of fighting objectives, 70 seconds of everything. So you don't want to risk that. Now, Guardians, I wasn't even going to mention this, but let's talk about Guardians a little bit. Nobody cares about Guardians. The Guardians do not matter. Stop dying for Guardians. Stop inting for Guardians. forget the Guardian, right? When you get late enough into the game, let's say even just 20 minutes, you can just walk into the Guardian and kill it without a wave, easily. So if you lose lane and you don't get their Guardian or whatever, don't go just pushing up wave trying to go fight for it or whatever, even though they're outfed or they outfed you or whatever, or outfarmed you, sorry. Don't do it. It's just not worth it. Let them win their lane, let them do whatever. You just sit there and farm and catch up, and then just walk in the Guardian and kill it whenever you feel like it later on. Don't die for Guardians. Even walkers, your first walker, if you haven't gotten it for a while, if you're a gun carry like Wraith or something, you can just walk into the first walker and kill it by minute 30. So if you haven't got a walker by minute 30, or sometimes even 25 or 20, if you're scaled enough, you can just walk in there, kill it, even without a wave, and get away. The second and third walker, it's much harder because every time you kill an objective, the other ones get more health. But the first walker is extremely weak, extremely easy to kill. So if you're really slot locked, you can sit there, sneak up, kill it while they're all pushed up, and then run away. Now, Earn's a big one. A lot of people don't realize how good Earn is. And honestly, it's one that I've actually neglected a lot myself, because I would just sit there and say, no, I'm going for walkers, or I'm going for kills, or I'm going for mid-boss. But I almost completely ignored Earn a lot of the games. But in my opinion, you should almost always pick up the Earn, regardless of it being comeback or whatever. Pretty much every single time, pick it up. Now, if it's our comeback, like your team's behind, run it 100% of the time, pretty much. Unless they have rejuve and they're trying to get you to run it so they can kill you, run it halfway maybe, see if they're there, and then if they're there and they're going to kill you, just bring it to spawn and drop it off so they can't have it. If it's a neutral Earn, have your team push out waves and see if you can run it. By the time you get halfway, you'll know if you can run it. You'll see the entire gang just sitting there waiting for you, you know? Or you'll see maybe one or two people, and then we can decide, all right, we're ahead in farm, or we're neutral in farm. I want to take this team fight because we have better ultimates or whatever. You can think of Earn almost as a team fight forcer. If you want a team fight, or you just hit your spike and you're strong and you want to go get some kills, you can force a fight with the Earn. And usually you want to force a fight with the Earn, especially if you're ahead. Because if you're ahead and you get the Earn, you get to get more ahead if they don't fight you, because you get to confirm it. If you're ahead and they do fight you, chances are you're going to kill them and win. And then we get even more ahead because we get the Earn and the kills. Now, if it's their Earn, their comeback Earn, take it and run. It's really loser to do. Like, I hate when people do it to me. But if you're just here for, I want to win, take that Earn and run for your life. Steal it and make sure they can't have it. Even if it just means it resets and they get it in 5 minutes from now. That's fine. They can have it in 5 minutes. I'll try and steal it again. But try to deny it as much as possible, because you don't want them to get those souls, because we want to keep them out of the game. We don't want to let them get back into the game. And I also mentioned how Earns was a fight forcer. If you force a fight, and let's say you're not part of that fight, let's say your team's running Earn, and Earn started in green lane, and Earn is ending in yellow lane, push up green lane. Take the walker in green lane, because if they go and fight the Earn, they have to be in yellow, which means probably not many people, if anyone, is going to be a green walker, which means you get it for free. And if you don't get it for free, you still get to force pressure. You force them to allocate resources to you instead of all just going to fight the Earn, which gives your team a favorable fight. Now, the last one, mid-boss. And I know I've been yapping a lot, you know? It's okay. You know what? Speaking of that, right before mid-boss, let's have the middle of the yap. We haven't done this in a while. If you guys are new here and you don't know what the middle of the yap is, it's the part of the video where I usually talk to the audience. And don't worry, if you want to skip it, I always leave timestamps. Now, to start, first of all, as always, I love you guys. It's been a while. I know I stopped uploading for a while, and now anyone who's watched me from Marvel Rivals, they're like, bro, where'd you go? Like, what happened? Now we're on Deadlock? What game is this? You know? But I think it was probably just the best choice, because I stopped enjoying Rivals, you know what I mean? Deadlock is a lot more fun for me. It's a lot more enjoyable, and honestly, it's fun to climb in it. You know, there's so many different heroes, so much different stuff you can do, and everyone feels viable. You know, that's one thing I like about this game. Rivals, it's like, if you're not playing the same comp every game, you're gonna lose, you know? The same 3 different comps. But if you are new here and you're staying for the middle of the yap, thank you, and welcome to the family. I used to do this a lot. I just, you know, quit for a while, stopped yapping, and now you're kind of bad at yapping, you know what I mean? But we'll keep this one short. I don't have much current events to talk about this time. So I love you guys. Let's get back to the video. Now, for mid-boss is one of the biggest game winners in the entire game. I would say the biggest. So when do you do it? First, if you get 3 or more kills, or 3 or more people are on timers, meaning they're spawning, you want to do mid-boss almost 100% of the time. The not 100% is if lanes aren't pushed out. Because let's say green and yellow lane are pushed to your side of the map. That means if you go get mid-boss, those 3 other people that are alive can get yellow and green walker for free, and there's pretty much no one that can contest them. So that's a bad one to do it. If blue lane is pushed up and we don't have pressure in blue lane, they can zip straight to mid-boss, jump down, and try to parry you, try to contest you, dynamo ult you, anything. So if you get a team wipe or whatever, mid-boss isn't always the answer. It's okay to just push up waves, steal their camps, and call it a day from a team wipe. Now, let's say you are fighting for mid-boss and you actually get there. After you kill the mid-boss, or you could even just bait it if you want to, because you could force a fight by baiting it. If you don't know, it makes the sound effect that you're in mid-boss at half health. So what you can do is you can lower it before it gets to half, and then everyone's set up on the edges of the veil so you can see when the enemies are coming, and then have someone actually half it and bait them to come fight you. When they fight you, then you can get a good team fight or whatever, or maybe if we're stronger already, we just get free picks, and then we could finish the mid-boss or whatever, right? It's a very game-by-game thing that you decide. But if you're just going to steal it or just fight it and win it, take mid-boss, and then somebody has to get out of the pit. At least 1 or 2 people, especially if you have your whole team there. There should be at most 3 people inside the center, maybe 4. 2 people outside the center and just sitting there waiting to see if someone's going to jump in, see if someone's going to do something, getting ready to ult that person, do whatever. The people in the pit have to worry about someone should be parrying and someone should be punching. So if you're punching, just as a tip, whoever punches first gets healed full health. So if you have someone who's really low health and you're not worried about them stealing, just have that person who's low health punch it first. But if you are worried, have someone sit on the crystal waiting to parry and everyone else just punch it the second it spawns. But what if the enemy team has rejuve, or if they're winning mid-boss? What I like to do is I jump in the hole when the rejuve crystal is about halfway down. The second it's halfway down, I start my sprint jump, so I dash and then jump. And if you jump too high, what you can do is you can double tap your crouch button and it'll fly you straight down to the ground. But if you don't, you should land dead center, and almost the second it lands is when you'll land in the center, and you just hit parry. If you parry someone, you hit it again, then you hit it again, then you hit it again, right? And then they're all stunned. So what I usually do is parry once, punch, parry once, punch. That's what I try to do. Unless I have someone with me, then I'm just purely parrying. I just start spamming the parry button dead center. Now, if they get the rejuve and we couldn't contest or whatever, the only thing that I can tell you is, first of all, pray. The second thing is try not to fight. It's like a 3-minute timer or something. Just avoid them for a few minutes. Poke them out, maybe do some damage, and try to get them all decently low. Because if you get them all low, they're going to overfight, they're going to lose rejuve, and then you actually fight them, and then you give yourself a good chance to win. Now, some people, when they get rejuve, they int. They just start running it down. Those are the people that you want to all just have 6 people on top of and kill. So, for example, yesterday I was playing a game and I had Celeste. Celeste pushed all the way up our yellow lane. Everyone jumped on her. We insta-killed her, then all ran ourselves back to spawn and sat in spawn and waited for the rest of them to come, which they pretty much didn't come because they lost one of their highest damage characters and they all just gave up on rejuve. They went to go get other objectives or camps or whatever. So yeah, we lost some of our farm, but every single wave crashed into our spawn, so we got a lot of farm off of that, and we got a kill, and they didn't get to utilize rejuve. So it allowed us to start snowballing a little bit to try to catch up. Now that you've mastered the mid game though, check out this video right here so you can master the early game. And if you guys have ever felt like you want to master aim and you don't know where to start, check out the top link in the description. I love you guys. Have a good one. God bless you.